In this lecture, we are going to continue with the same topic, that is ergonomics in construction. So in the previous slides, previous session, we have talked about ergonomics in construction and its ergonomic injuries. But here we are going to discuss about warm-up and stretching exercise. Some construction companies have started requiring that all employees do stretching, flexibility, and warm-up exercise prior to beginning the work. So jumping jacks, walking in places, standing knee lift and back stretches are all good warm-up exercise. This activity not widely practiced in this industry, but certainly merits further consideration and implementation. Remember, workers are just like professional athletes. It is important to warm up their body before attempting any strenuous work activity. Like before doing any kind of heavy lifting or heavy uh, stretching works, they have to do basic exercises, okay, whenever they start doing their works. So stretching exercises helps keep the body from tightening up too much. Sometimes the muscles may tighten up a little at a time and workers may not be even aware of it. Stretching exercises are done to prevent major muscle groups from tightening up too much and should be done every day. Some companies encourage short stretching sessions, that is 1 to 3 minutes, several times a day. Strengthening of the major muscle groups is very important for a healthy back. The stretching and warm-up exercises noted previously are designed to strengthen the muscle groups that support the back and keep it straight. So strengthening is mainly due to the mainly do does for the muscle. Okay, the muscle back, the back end of the muscle. So you have to make sure that it has some ability to withstand heavy load. Okay, while doing any kind of construction work. So both stretching and strengthening of your muscle is important. Okay. So what can the employer can do? Much like overall health and safety program, effective ergonomic program should be utilized in a systematic manner. Okay, so it involves following steps. Okay, so the step one is management commitment and employee involvement. Successful ergonomic programs are those that have everyone moving in the same direction, working towards a common set of goals. Full backing of management is necessary when which includes allocating resources, time, and resolving identified issues. Employees perform the job task and often are best prepared to assist with the solving of problems. Basically, we need management support, okay, and employee involvement towards the work so that we can achieve the particular goal which we are setting in this ergonomic program. Okay. Worksite hazard assessment. So establish an ergonomic committee comprised of management and employees to devote their time to ergonomic issues. So we also need to conduct assessment of job tasks to identify risk factors, identify jobs that are showing early signs of or actually causing WMSDs. Okay. So hazard prevention and control, it means that pursue equipment purchases, workstation design, modified work practices, and other tools that are designed to reduce or eliminate ergonomic risk factors. So both worksite hazard assessment and hazard prevention is both important. Okay, in this particular ergonomic assessment approach. So next step is education and training. So we need to provide training for the employees, management staff on how to recognize the primary ergonomic risk factors of three important factors which I have discussed in the previous session, that is force, repetition, and posture. So these three important factors, we need to make sure we are recognizing that factors in our site. Okay? And also we need to educate personnel on the early symptoms of WMSDs and proper procedures for reporting and recording them. Okay, so we should establish a personnel, okay, the particular technical staff to educate, and also we need to establish procedures, guidelines, and we need to encourage early reporting of symptoms. So next step is medical management. Implement a medical management program that includes establishment of one occupational physician or group that is familiar with your work operation. Refer all employees who have suspected workplace WMSDs to the physician and group for appropriate diagnosis and treatment. So this is one example of the type of work, the trade, that is type of the employee when the employee does particular job, what kind of hazard he will face in his workplace. So it is being mentioned here. So you can go through that. Is, for example, carpenter when uses hand arm vibration. Okay. For example, is during the preparation work, using a concrete saw to cut into a floor for more than 2 hours a shift. When he does this, he will face this kind of hazard called hand arm vibration. For example, if repeatedly using his palm to hit the blunt edge of the metal stud. So in that case, he will be experiencing contact stress. So again and again, whenever he does the job, he will be experiencing this kind of awkward postures, eye force, this kind of hazards. Okay, so similarly we have different type of work the corresponding to different hazards are being there. Okay, for example, you take floor layer. If a person using the same arm motion repeatedly to spread floor leveler open to open floor for 2 hours without any brief rest periods, so continuously working in a in a workplace, in that case he will be having a repetition. Okay, repetition kind of an hazard. So similarly, we have different hazard associated with different data. Okay. So tools and their design. So how do we going to design the tool, and what tools have different effects on the ergonomic injury, that we are going to discuss. Okay. So hand tool design to reduce CDT. So CDT, like tunnel syndrome, which we have discussed the previous session, right? So with pounding, twisting, static posture, vibration, and the force involved in using construction hand tools, it is not surprising that soft tissue injuries occur. Since the prevention of CDT is critical, contractors and construction companies should begin to utilize new tools that helps prevent some of the injuries. Tools should be designed in such a way that the body parts kept in a neutral position and grip force are minimized. So always the body should be in a neutral position. Neutral means the body should not bend in any kind of degree. Okay, it should be straight. The hand should be straight. Okay, the most neutral position for the arm and wrist is the upper arm in a position down the side of the body with the forearm at right angles and the wrist in a handshake position. So this can be accomplished by bending the tool handle and modify the grip characteristics. So this is the way the neutral position should be there. Okay. Always make sure that whenever you use hand tools, you have to be in a neutral position. Okay? While when considering the tool design, remember the basic risk factors that interact and cause CDTs, that is repetition, eye force requirement, stress, vibration, rapid movement of body parts, compression of sensitive tissue. These are some risk factors. Okay, fatigue, repeated full loading, limited number of loads. Due to that, you may experience fatigue. So lack of sufficient recovery time. So these are some risk factors. Obviously, in construction work, the risk depends to some extent on work practice and techniques. So always the risk factors that is associated with ergonomics depends on the work practice and techniques which you adopt in the construction site. Okay. So the proper tool maintenance is also crucial part of an ergonomic prevention program. So you have to make sure your tool is being having proper undergoes proper maintenance. Okay. Sometimes what happens is a tool, example, or a hand tool or any electrical equipment you are using. So you would have not done a services. Monthly or 3 months once. So not the insufficient service leads to inefficient of the equipment. So when you use the equipment with less sharpened tool, you might experience some ergonomic stress or ergonomic hazard. Okay, so that is why maintenance is very important. It plays a crucial part. Okay, so it and properly sharpened tools accomplish the task with lesser repetitions and less force. So if you sharpen the tools, then it will be easy to cut the piece into two half, right? So you don't need more amount of force to be applied from your body. So that's why sharpened tools is way better. Okay, but it is also important to build features into tool design that will reduce these kind of risk. Repetition can be reduced by designing a tool that is well balanced and make more efficient use of the operator's input force without increasing the other risk factors. A good example of this is a well balanced hammer that drives a nail home in a few strokes. So awkward postures can be reduced by designing tools that allow body to adopt neutral position during much of the work cycle as possible. A force demands can be reduced in number of ways. The primary method is to reduce the grip, and holding force is to reduce the weight of the tool. So always the force demand can be reduced by reducing the weight of the tool. Okay. So in any way, if it is possible, you can reduce the tool weight. Okay. Maximum tool weight for one hand should be maintained below 4 pounds. So whenever the weight of the tool is too heavy, it's above 4 pound, then you shouldn't lift it. Okay. If the tool is very heavy, the many devices are available to support or suspend the tool. So thereby, thus removing a portion of the weight from the operator. So you need to have suspend or support, extra support to lift the tool, okay, manually. So mechanical compression risk can be reduced by handle design in order to prevent hard injuries. Sharp corners and edges should be rounded. So it should not be any sharp edges around the tool. Okay. So it will obviously have, leads to hand injuries. That's why it should be rounded. Okay. Many tool manufacturers now produce power tools that dampened vibration. So vibration absorbing couplings are on handles reduce vibration transmission to the hands. So well-designed tool handles that reduce grip force requirements also reduces the transmission of vibration from tool to hand. Handles of impact tools such as hammers can be designed to significantly dampen the transmission of impact shock from the handle to the arm and hand. Okay, so this is a way you can design your handles, design your hand tools. Okay, so that you don't experience that ergonomic hazards. Okay, what are the phases of MSDs, musculoskeletal disorders? So there are some phases involved. Okay, unlike injuries from falls, electrocution, musculoskeletal disorder don't seem very serious when they first show up, but they start with minor discomfort in early stages. The symptoms go away after a short break or at night when they don't work. So returning to the same activity the next day brings back the symptom again. Okay, so the starting there you won't experience that much symptom, but in the while working progressively, you might experience more stress or more hazards. Okay, how to control MSG hazard is like many industries successfully implemented ergonomic solution in their facilities as a way to address these workers' MSG injury risk. Interventions have included modifying existing equipment, making changes in work practice, or purchasing a new tool or other devices to assist the production process. And making these changes has reduced physical demand, eliminated unnecessary movements, lowered injury rates, and their associated work compensation cost, and also reduced employee turnover. So these are the things that you can do. In many cases, work efficiency and productivity have also increased. Okay, so when you do such control program or control measures, then you can able to see work efficiency improving or productivity increase. Okay, in your site. So overview of controls for MSG hazard, like to reduce the chance of injury, workta should be designed to limit the exposure of risk factors. Engineering controls are more desirable wherever possible. Administrative controls may be appropriate in some cases where engineering control cannot be implemented. Okay, personal productive solutions are only limited effectiveness when dealing with ergonomic hazards. So always we have to make sure we are doing engineering control. Okay, only then it will possible to eliminate completely, or else we can go for administrative work practice control. Okay. So you can see here in the diagram, the first priority should be given to engineering control, and the second priority should be given to administrative or work practice control. The third and last one would be PPE. So inclusion of PPE is a last option. Okay, the first option will be the engineering control. Okay, the effectiveness is more for engineering control rather than when compared to PPE. So engineering control means implement a physical change to the workplace. Okay, doing something or a small physical change in a workplace which completely eliminates or reduces the hazard of the task. Example, you can see here use of device to lift and reposition heavy objects to limit the force exertion. Reduce the weight of the load to limit the force exertion. Use diverging conveyors of the main line so the task will be less repetitive. Redesign the tools to enable neutral postures. These are some examples you can see for engineering control. So implementing some physical change, okay, in a workplace to eliminate some hazard. And the next option, that is administrative or work practice control, is like establishing efficient procedures. So you establish some most effective or efficient procedures in your workplace. For example, requires heavy load only lifted by two people to limit the force exertion. Force exertion means how much amount of force it can able to lift. Okay? Properly use and maintain pneumatic and power tools. Establish systems so workers can be rotated away from task to minimize the duration of continual exertion, repeated motion, and awkward postures. Design job rotation system in which employees rotate between the job that uses different muscle groups. So you have to make sure you have proper job rotation system adopted in your projects. The third and last option will be PP, personal protective equipment. That is using protection to reduce exposure to ergonomic related risk factors. For example, using padding to reduce the direct contact with the pad, hard, sharp, and vibrating surface. Wear good fitting thermo gloves to help with cold condition while maintaining its ability to grasp items very easily. So you can see some examples here. What is the before and after employing the engineering control? Okay, what kind of measures we have taken? What kind of measures we have not taken? What type of hazard have been experienced before and after employing some engineering control? What happens then? Okay, you can see some scenario here. So it's an example of engineering control, that mechanical device that lift and tilt to adjust the materials for easier handling. So in the manufacturing sector, you can see people manually doing lifting in the materials. But here in the right hand side, you can see after employing some mechanical device here. So manually they are doing everything lifting. While doing that, your back will get affected. Okay, your lower back. So while installing the mechanical device, you can able to do it effectively without ergonomic injury. Okay. So modification of the work surface to raise the floor worker. For example, a worker has been standing and he's been stretching his legs like this. So before, after installing the surface, work surface, you're raising some platform here so that the worker can be work without any ligament. Okay, ligament here. Okay, so this kind of engineering control is more important in your projects. Okay, whenever you see people experience this kind of hazard, you have to go and check for it. You have to take some measures. Okay, action plan. Floor mat in areas where workers stand for long period of time. Whenever a worker is standing still and working for long hours, you have to install some floor mat. Okay, so improve overall worker comfort and reduces the worker fatigue. So a cushion material that softens the hard handling surfaces. So you can see there is no mat here, and after installing the mat, people are standing for long years. So it will reduce some discomfort. Okay, grabbers to handle full barrel. So a person manually rotating and lifting it after installing some mechanical device, usually attached to forklift trucks that can move and manipulate full barrels. So you can see a barrel is lifted using an equipment here. Okay, so that's a major advantage. Okay, because at the end it reduces the physical effort. Okay, so reduces the physical demand required to perform the task and also minimizes the chance of dropping or spilling. So it can also be noted down. Okay, it's a major advantage. So that's an reference for this particular session. So with this unit 4, that is safety program, is completed. Okay. Thank you.